we go.
They win.
Fire it away. Go! Go!
Because there's better shit on Sundays than football in America. Let's make some forks. I'm Erik from Peacock and Cake Bicycles. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cake fat bike fork. I don't. All right, so check it out. This is live, so you're just going to have to kind of wing it because there's going to be screw-ups and there's going to be people on there who go, doesn't work that way. I know I welded one. So just shut up, sit back, and watch and just enjoy it. Or don't. I don't care. Anyways, so check it out. We got all this stuff here. Components for a bicycle fork. You have your steer tube. This is what your handlebar clamps onto. You got your fork legs that we just cut them to size. We're going to have to cope, miter, notch, whatever you want to call it, because everybody knows the actual name. It's a miter is a square cut. A cope is a round angled cut. So we got all this. We have our disc brake caliper mount. That's super awesome. And we have all our little trinkets that go on so you can mount a rack or fenders or lights or whatever, because I build these forks like this so they're very uniquely usable. You know, it's not a race fork. I don't make stupid light shit because there's no point. I build you an item that you're going to have forever. That if you want to have kids, you can give it to them. If you can give it to somebody on the block, you know, like that little Billy. He always did good in school. So with some of this already prepped, let's just go through some steps of how we're going to build a fork. Woo-hoo. So come over here to our fine Anvil Bike Works fork fixture. You can't say jig anymore. It gets Don all mad because a jig is like where you dance and drink or something. So anyways, we get that in there. I've already coped this nice cut in here because when you put in your fork legs, I like to see that. When I see it just flat, no one cut it or coped it, it just says to me that it's kind of lazy, you know? Like I put this extra bit in, get a little bit more tire clearance, and I think it follows a natural progression of the fork blades, the curve of it. I like it. It's a sexy touch. It takes, a minute and a half on the mill, so we do it. Down here, we got our dropouts, and these are through axle dropouts. And now in bikes and the wonderful world of holy shit, we need to innovate because all of our stocks are falling. Everybody's making something new. It's just like the computer world where, like, I don't know, dude, 16 gigabyte RAM is where it's at. Yeah, my DOS download speed is super fast now. Whatever, liquid cooled shit. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so we got these dropouts, and I'm doing a new way of building these. So basically, you can see they're called dropouts because you used to drop your wheel out of it. So it's funny now that we have through axles, which actually encapsulate the whole axle. You can't really call them dropouts. So I don't know what to call them. If somebody has a good idea, punch it in the comments. Let us know. What would you call this? Because I see you. I see what you're doing. No presents for you, Billy. I hope there's a Billy. Like, how does he know? So this is your fixture, and this is what we do. I keep these screws nice and short so I don't spend my whole day screwing and unscrewing because, well, as Gwyneth Paltrow would say, I don't want to sit here and consciously uncouple all day. So anyways, you got this nice figure. If you're like me, since you actually use things fall apart and fall off. So we have our little scale. And see, look, it's like it never fell off. And we mark it to 50 millimeters. And what this is, the axle path is 50 millimeters out of phase of the center line of your steer tube. That gives your fork this look. People call it rake, offset. It's offset. Rake is usually Now this is where the bike nerds go, ugh! But rake is, what I consider rake is when you bend the blades. When you rake the blades, you rake them out. So I call it offset because that's where the dropouts or through axle mounts or whatever, the donut holders, whatever you want to call them, that's what it is. And this, what I've just been talking about, is your through axle. So basically, this goes in here, goes onto there, and then this just tightens up. So like if it was on the bike, you would turn this until it gets tightened, and then you just whoop, close it. So that's what it looks like. This is a lot stiffer, a lot stronger, and now you can use a whole bunch of different hub and tire and wheel sizes and combinations on your bike. This is really smart. It's like it's a pretty cool modular system. It's like you know, Nintendo. Or don't sue us, Nintendo. Started out as a card game. See, I know that. So those are all your major components, and that is basically your setup for your fat bike fork. So what we're going to do is show you basically the steps to do it. We already cut these to length, and that's what you saw. So now I'm going to show you basically how I do it. How I do it's a little bit more labor intensive than the average Joe, but I've done it for so long that now I know how to do it. But if you look, this is totally flat. This doesn't fit up with that. Oh no, look at that. You can't weld that. Like Brock said, you didn't build that. You can't weld that. You didn't weld that. Somebody welded that. So anyways, what we have to do is we have to cope this. We have to cut it. We have to notch it. How I do it, I go over here, and you lovingly caress it. Just give it a little We don't need to get crazy. And then I take a file, and I start filing. And when you've done enough of these, you realize how much that actually sucks. So you move to something else. You move to your Dynafile. Look, a Leatherface. If Leatherface had this, it would be a terrible movie, but it would really hurt because this is really painful. So basically, I'm going to throw some sparks, and it just takes away material. It's a sweet reciprocating belt.
Thank God for auto gain.
And what's really cool, and like I find part of the romantic process of this is when you're doing this, the tube, and they circle down in there, it's so fucking rad. So it's hard to. This is so cool. It's shiny. Let me look at. Oh shit! I cut too much. You know. Then I usually just end it. And this is all like muscle memory. I'm going by feel. Dirt. I'm going by feel and how many times I've done this. I've done this like 100 times. So
more than that.
Maybe 110. 100.
Whatever.
152. So basically, someday when I get rich, I'll make a fixture that I can weld these together, put it in a fixture, and then just cut it. That is what I bought that big machine there for, but it's holding the corner down so well that I haven't given it that job yet. Someday, like right now, the immediate need is building this for. So basically, you can see we're getting a little bit closer, and it's really tough to see, but as I adjust this. Like when you look like right here, we're starting to get closer. We want to narrow that gap right there. So when we come through here, we have as much metal on metal. When you weld something, the more of the parent metals, these will be the two parent metals, and we'll introduce the filler metal. When we get that in there, that makes for a better weld. It's stronger. It's easier to weld. It's everything. And that, to me, that's what's most important. Is like when people spend money with me and we get to their project, when they come up in line, Like, I know that they saved a lot. I know that they spent a lot. I give the most that I can. So let's go do a little bit more filing. And then I'll show you how we prep the metal for welding. Then we'll tack it up. And we'll get going. Now we'll see if you can get the spark one in. You want to see? Look at that. Isn't that rad as hell? Bill's scared of the sparks. Catch you on fire! And I love this tool because you can act this as like your resistance. This is the best tool ever. Thank you, Dynabraid Corporation. Plug, plug, plug. Oh, I have 2 more of your fine units up there, too. They're the best things I've ever bought.
Do you have any more of those Wilton bullet vices, Erik?
No, I got one.
Damn
one.
it.
Wow, you going to come and try and steal it?
No, but I want one.
I tell you what, I look on Craigslist once in a while, and they're like $600. And you're like, they're $600 new. You've had it for 10 years.
Exactly.
It's not special. Not Milton Berle's, old vice or something. So, yeah, we can take a little bit more off the top, close that gap even more. And I do this like this for a number of reasons. I take as little off of this as possible because that means I have the most tire clearance possible. Isn't that a lovely sound? If you want, you could record that and play that for your loop for your phone ringing. Oh.
First dance song.
Yeah, so look at that. See how this starts to close up and look at that.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. So basically I would take this down a little bit more. But the magic of editing. Ready to go. Whoa, look at that. Oh my God. See, check it out. If you look right here. But when you look at this, there's still some flash and shit on there. And when you're welding that, this steel is so thin that it doesn't melt. It burns because it's so small. Think of it like a log versus a piece of paper. So you want to get rid of all this flash, all this dirt and shit in here, all the grime, the drugs of society. I'm sorry, the dregs. And the droogs. But anyways, so now we're going to quick clean this up. Get this prepped and ready to weld. These prepped and ready to weld. That'll take just a couple minutes. You do that. And then we're going to come on. Obviously, we're going to move this. But then we're going to tack weld it. There's no sparks in there because it's a controlled spark. But now we're going to clean it up, and I'm going to show you how I clean them up, basically. Because what I do is a little bit different. So, take out our dropouts through axle pieces, whatever they are. These are cast in the machine. So if you look, there's little rust all over them and stuff. And I've prepped this with, a nice clean piece of steel, fresh sanded. But I don't want this rust and shit. That's a contaminant. It makes an inferior weld. So we sandblast it off with our very clean sandblasting unit. Get ready, it's really loud. Let me out! Let me out! Oh, that was me. I'm just kidding. So, if you look in here, and sorry it's all super dirty, it's just a gun that blasts a whole bunch of sand. And it takes off all the dirt and icky, terrible, horrible shit. It's even been known to hurt lawyers and bad cops. Okay, part of that isn't true. So now, look at that. Nice and clean. Ready to weld. Yay! They want to be welded. These, you can do the same, but I'm going to show you what I do, which is not be ready with my tools. Sorry, Bill. This little bastard. This little guy. Look at him. It fits in your hand.
It's like a Dremel.
Watch that. Nobody even knew. Could sand you, sir. So, plug it into your air. And when you're doing this, you want to do it light. You know, you're not grinding, you're not taking material off. You're just cleaning it out. And even then, there's still a little bit there, so. And you say, what up, 44 Bikes? What up, Christopher? Are you watching? I put your shirt on today. Usually I wear topless, but Bill requested, you know. So basically, like if you look in here, this is a paint marking from the company. And that's to tell you that this is the top end of the fork. And it's kind of like, no shit, because you really don't have a choice. This is how it comes. So take 30 seconds. That's all done. Hey, that one's got red in it too. Sorry about the treble. It was more treble than bass. But basically that cleans everything inside. I know how much stuff to take off because when you're melting the metal around here, if there's paint or contaminants in there, pulled through in the weld, you can get debris, shit in the weld. You get a bad weld. And when you need the weld to hold, you know, like in Event Horizon, remember that one dude's always out patching up the boat? Maybe they should have got a better welder.
The boat?
The boat? Is that what I said? The boot? Yeah, okay. So now we got a little bit of like flash around here. And what I want to do is just quick buzz it off. You go real light on that. Like you can see the little baby sparks. This little baby spark. And then I take it to my little buffing wheel. Oh my god, it's so shiny! Did you hear that, Firefly fans? See what I'm doing, Bill? I'm buffing my stuff. Oh, he's hating it. Anyways. So you can see that the heat discoloration marks from when I cut it. There might be still a little bit of magic marker, aka Sharpie there. We just take all that off. All right, so we got these done. I take out my air hose. I blow them out just to make sure we got all the stuff out of there. Sorry. So now we come back here and we are gonna get ready to set up the welder, make sure that these are good, and here we go. So we put our dropouts and or through axle things or whatever you want to call them. And I'm skipping delicious dinner / lunch for this. So is there anybody watching, Bill? Can you tell?
If there's any comments or questions, let us know. And also, where can people see the bikes you've built, man?
Internet. Now we gotta turn off the fan.
Google Images, go to Peacock Groove, and there'll be pages upon pages of cool bikes.
There'll be a couple.
Couple hundred.
Bungwires was asking if he put in an order today, what's the wait time until he's riding?
6 months to a year. But if you pay me all at once, sooner. America. Yeah, this is like custom bikes. It's crazy because like I didn't know, but there's a dude that makes custom knives and he has a 4-year wait. 4 fucking years to stab somebody. You're probably pretty calm after that. You're like, dude, I was gonna stab you 2 years ago, but I'm cool now.
I'm sorry, but
I forgot what I was going to stab you for.
It sounds like a time management problem if it's 4 years, dude.
I tell you what, this guy is really good, so he can command that. So good for him.
Well, if he's got like a long list of orders and is this full time?
I believe Anthony Bourdain bought a knife from him, and he still had to wait like 40 years or something.
Jeez.
Man, like, I'm fucking Anthony Bourdain. Give me my knife. Fucking stab you. I gotta go make food. What I do? But yeah, usually around there. With cakes, it's a lot sooner because there's more production. With Peacock Groove, I go into like crazy detail. Like I am still waiting for a bike to come back from the plater and a special secret thing. That is a whole Mad Max Fury Road thing, and it's one of the best things I've ever done. And I'm fucking sweating because the customer hates me because it's been like 18 years or something. I don't know.
You're doing a Fury Road for somebody?
Yeah. It's going to blow you away. Dude, we had fucking gravel from Australia sent.
Serious?
We're putting real Australian fucking dirt on it. So I'm pretty excited about that one. The next one we're doing after an old Haro GT. It's over there somewhere. And it's like we're going to take that and make a fat bike to look like it. So I do stuff like that when, let's be frank, if you want to be smart and make money, you just make a size and a model and let people choose like one color. But I can't do that, I don't like saying, oh, I'm so creative, I have to do it this way. Fuck, call it what you will. I can't stand, like I see all these bikes online, like check out my sweet custom build. I'm like, it's blue, like everybody else's fucking blue bike. It's not custom. Stop saying it.
But yeah, we'll have to take a look at some of the custom colors on these customers' bikes that are waiting.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, before the live stream's over.
So basically, we're kind of set up. I do this a lot of like what I call freehand, and I don't tighten anything down. I use my hand to hold it to where I want. I feel I have more control that way. And once you learn when you're welding, like how shit manipulates through thermal manipulation and movement, you take that and you average it out, and so you can negate it in your head. So sometimes people will come in and they'll be like, if you're supposed to have like a 135 millimeter rear end, I'll space it out to like 142. So when it's welded, it sucks in on average like 2 millimeters each. So boom, you're down to within a negligible distance. And once you put a bridge in there, it'll suck it down, and you get it. I get it down to like in between 134 and 136. So I do what I call, I work how it's going to distort while I'm welding it. It's like Scrooge McDuck said, work smarter, not harder. And,
he's the one who said that?
Fuck yeah, dude. Watch DuckTales. Come on. So I'm going to turn on a welder. Remember, kids, stay grounded. Oh. Sorry. Things are happening off camera. We can't show you. So now basically this is something you like physically don't want to look at, but you can watch it from the safety of your computer monitor.
As Bill's camera phone just melts.
I was about to ask, you got that shield ready, dude?
Awesome. So check it out. I'll show you a cool little trick. So your welder has a high frequency, which is just a little spark that tells the big spark where to go. So as long as you don't ground yourself, oh yeah. Check that out. Emperor Palpatine ain't got shit on me, dude. Dude had 2 houses. People blew him up both times. let's go try this neighborhood. Shit, they found us. So anyways, oh, sorry. Technical difficulty. So now we got our filler metal and all this shit, and now I'm just going to zap it to hold it in place. Oh, perfect. It's pretty dang close to perfect. Ooh, Bill just hit me with the tripod. What's up, dog?
Using it as a cane now, Bill?
Man, if he didn't have to wait 4 years to get that knife, he'd just start driving to stab you now. Put his diaper on and start driving. That's terrible, but it happened. All right, so sometimes you got to get a little creative. I was trying to get it for the camera, but now I'm just going to adjust it a hair. There we go. Hold on, kid. Grandpa's had his Sunday driving fluid. He's good to go. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Magic. So now we check our fixture, and we're still fine up here. Still fine there. So now I zap it up here. Whoa, magic. Magic. So now we do it in a couple other areas, just so everything else stays together, and you watch out that you don't cross your fucking streams and all that shit. I forgot to mention, like, some people come and watch, and I tell them every time I flip my hood down, that means I'm about to weld. But like, some people just don't get it, and they're like, "Dude, you gotta let me know." And I'm like, "Well, if I do this, what do you think? I'm teleporting somewhere? Fuck, man, it's about to get really bright. You know? Some men you just can't reach." Okay, close your eyes. So I tack it in a multiple bunch of areas so it doesn't move around when I actually weld it. Man, that creeped me out. Yeah, get a load of this. Watch those numbers all move. This is cool shit. You ready? Here it goes. How cool is that shit? That's your power readings, man. That's what Sulu and Uhura and everybody looked at, and Kirk didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. Where's the green ladies? I need to talk to them. Okay, so anyways. hey, look at that. We're tacked, meaning that this is ready to be fully welded. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the torch down for a second, take this out, throw a wheel in it, make sure that it's straight. Not that being straight is the only way to be, but it is for a wheel on a bicycle. So, anyway, we turn that off real quick because we're in an energy crisis. So check this out. And you can tell a lot about when you tack something. When you take it out of the fixture, does it pop? Does it spring? Does it compress? That lets you know, like, how is that going to weld into it? It's like the introduction or a novella, or a novella, if you wish. Now, these have to be pulled apart a little bit because they have a recessed dropout thingy. So when I go like that, and that, yeah, like we got, that's about right. I'm like, what I was just doing there is like, how does that fit in there? It's got just a little bit of spring. That's so good. So now, aha! Oh, oops, sorry. So look at this. Here's the best damn wheel you can get, Head Cycling. Seriously, Head Cycling is like the dopest company out there. They're really cool people. They went in and, just so you know, this is a 24-inch fat wheel. It's smaller in overall diameter than a 26-inch fat wheel. It's lighter. It's faster. This is the shit. And no one's really working with them. I'm kind of a, for lack of a, I'm not going to say lone wolf, even though I just said it. But, like, not many people are doing this because there's not many tire sizes out for it and stuff yet. But I'm telling you, for, like, smaller riders, this is the shit. It's faster rotation, less weight, and same footprint as a normal fat bike. It's the dope jam, kids. So we put this in here. And we go. And I look at it, and we're dead nuts, whatever that means. So let's weld this son of a bitch. What do they say in Death Proof? I love that. You guys ever see the movie Death Proof? I love when she goes, what are you going to do? Let's go kill the motherfucker. And they all get in the car and they go, and the music plays, and she gets in the car and she goes, giddy up. Come on, man, dude. She told a Dodge Challenger to giddy up. That's sexy. That's cool. Now back to seriousness. So when I weld these, what I do is I like to keep the axle in there. What the dummy axle does, from Don Ferris of Anvil Bike Works. Don Ferris loves fat bikes too. I put this in here because what it does is that when we weld this fork, when you weld in here, it makes all of this compress. When you're welding, you are literally melting the two parent metals. Like if you look right here, parent metal, and the weld and the filler is to make them all one. So it'll distort, it'll move, it'll fluctuate. So I have a certain pattern that I use to minimize distortion, but you keep your axle in there so it can only distort that much. So no matter what you do, sometimes you gotta do a little post-weld cold setting. And here's your joke for the day. Whenever somebody goes, yeah, dude, I rarely cold set my frames. I'll tell you what cold set means. It means bend. That's what you're doing. You're bending it. But people say cold set because it sounds smarter. You know, because people are shitty. I don't know. Sorry. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to put this in here. And I'm going to weld it. And I'm going to make Bill move. Sorry, I hope this isn't boring, but just so you know, this is my life. So if you think it's boring, go to hell. This is my sacrifice for you people. So now,
for those watching, go into Google Images right now, enter in Peacock Groove, and tell us about a bike that you see in the results. Some of them are pretty crazy. And some of them have been controversial.
Yeah, because everybody gets their feelers hurt once in a while. You know what? Life's fucking tough. Wear a helmet. And if you guys are horror fans, just search for Peacock Groove Evil Dead. I did an Evil Dead tribute bike, and Bruce Campbell retweeted it. So, what up? Hail to the king, baby, you know?
In fact, he retweeted it twice.
Did he?
Yeah.
And I met Ted Raimi, the brother of Sam Raimi, and here's a story.
Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, I met Anthony Bourdain too. He was cool. But I'll tell you a story real quick. So check this out. My friend used to work for Crypticon. Crypticon is a local horror convention thing, stuff like that. And he would go pick up the stars from the airport and shit. So, like, I know that he'd hear crazy shit. You know, like, you finally meet like your hero, or he'd be like, what's the dumbest thing you've ever done? Or something. But anyways, he said he got in the car and picked up Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother. Sam Raimi's the guy who directed Evil Dead. And apparently, Ted Raimi asked me, he goes, oh, yeah, I heard there's some guy who made an Evil Dead bike. And my friend's like shitting his pants. He's like, that's my friend. Do you want to see it? And he's like, yeah. So I got to go meet Ted Raimi and all the ladies who were in Evil Dead. And they're like, holy shit. And they like, you know, they like took pictures with me and stuff. And I was like, no, I came here to take pictures with you. So it was weird that, like, I make bikes, and now I met, you know, Ted Raimi and stuff. That's just weird to me. But the Evil Dead bike holds a special place in my heart because it's fucking Evil Dead. Hail the King. All right, so this is the boring part. I'm just going to sit here and do this. Okay, I lied. I need more power. I need 1.21 gigawatts. That's Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Bill and I don't always do this, but I have a feeling he doesn't like talking during these. So I've been asking him questions the whole time. Right, Bill? Yeah, he nods. You're on video, dog. All right, here we go. Ooh, yeah.
Well, the good news is Bill is not screaming in agony, so he's got something covering his eyes.
Not yet.
As the camera angle slowly just starts drifting off scene, like, oh, where'd it go? Any AVE fans out there? Safety squints.
And I let the welder sit on there, and the argon, the inert gas, will purge, and it makes it a little bit better. It's magic. It's magic. Sorry, Bill. I'm going to move around on you. There's also a Purple Rain Peacock groove bike. Got a little attention. Like it won 2 national bike shows. It's cool. Check it out, bro.
As
Anna
an old
Schwinn.
school. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Anna Schwinn, it was built for her, right, Erik?
Correct, Mundo.
Anna Schwinn, the granddaughter of Schwinn, creator of Schwinn bicycles.
Yeah, there's no pressure there, you know. It's their first custom bike outside of the Schwinn and Waterford family. Like, I want a Prince bike. Oh, yeah. I'll do that on the weekend, you know?
Oh, they're not going to make them in China and retail them?
No, but that bike is going to the Wiseman Museum for their Prince display for 9 months.
Really?
Yep.
That's cool.
Nice.
That's an honor.
I told you, Bill, I'm somebody. I don't give free tacos at Taco Taxi because I'm nobody. I've never gotten free tacos at Taco Taxi.
Drew, how much time do we have left?
We are sitting at 19 minutes remaining.
19 minutes remaining.
It's going to be perfect.
Perfect.
I was going to say, it depends on how long you want to go.
Well, I think we'll go to fruition. I'm sorry, to completion. I believe. What movie is that from? When are you done? I'm going to go to completion. It's a sexy joke. Never mind. Sorry, ruined TV. the boring part where you're lonely.
Normally,
Now, if there's any
got
more,
techno music blasting in here.
if there's any more old school nerds, look up the Peacock Groove Voltron bike.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck you mean by nerds?
Oh, dude, I am so nerd. I am proud of that.
What, to form Blazing Sword and nerd your ass in half?
Did that go to Japan?
No.
Oh.
I have one here and there's a couple others. Oh boy, that sure gets hot. Funny thing. Oh yeah. Bill knows what's up.
So another question from earlier, do you take Canadian dollars?
You got a Canadian credit card? I'll take Canadian dollars.
There you go.
PayPal will convert it for you.
Do they want a Canadian bike, eh? You know? Besides that, if shit keeps on hitting the storm drain like it's been in America, I might just take the old bike trip up there to the Northwoods, you know? Got a lot of weird things going on in the Americas right now.
Fun
Yeah,
fact
so
when you eat.
So do a few different countries now, and they're all starting to leave. But I haven't got one into Canada yet. So whoever asked, you could be the first. You could be that guy.
I was going to say, fun fact, if you use Bing to do an image search and you type in Peacock Groove bike, the next suggestion for a search or like related is pin up Peacock Groove.
What? Oh, yeah. That might be the controversial bike. Traditionally, up to like, I'd say like 10 years ago, frame building was a very, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? Traditional. And then somebody like me, and I hate saying that, comes in and they're like, you can't do that. That's sacrilege. You're ruining the world, you know?
Carvelli or whatever?
Oh, yeah, Chris Cavalli,
Yeah,
who
Cavalli.
I'm now friends with, is like, what the hell are you doing? You can't make bikes like that. I'm like, yeah, I can. What's the big deal? You know, and it's kind of an old white man thing, and you know, I'm white, but I'm not old, not yet. I'm getting there, closer every day.
Yeah, but about the time you get to call yourself an old white man, there's going to be another young buck coming along, and you're going to be the one bitching about you can't do it that way.
There are young kids already, and I hate them. They have no taste and no respect. They lose their grounds. It's okay, I'm back. But yeah, there's some people out there who, oh, they're just buttheads, man. You know, they do dumb shit. Ooh, that's hot.
Electric Hell? I don't remember this one.
Yeah, purple. I call it electric hell because we put an electric shifting kit on it. So it's not. There's no cables. It's just electric. It's like got servos in it. So I was like, let's call it electric hell because when you run out of batteries, you're stuck in that gear. That sounds pretty dumb.
You're out of batteries going downhill, and all of a sudden you hit the uphill. Oh God, no!
Well, I've always laughed. I'm like I have a lot of excuses to not ride a bike with friends, but I don't want to be like, yo, dude, my battery is dead. I can't shift my bike. That's just dumb. So basically,
Oh,
That upper
oh,
is
that's
done.
pretty.
It's okay. I mean, I've done better. So now we're going to quick that down here and get these done.
Here's a custom bike rack. Eric's made a lot of custom bike racks.
Oh, yeah. That's for Thaddeus Walters down in Iowa. The thing I forgot the box in his, put in his box with his bike. Thank God it hasn't gone out yet. Isn't this exciting? Like, you know, I'll throw in some backflips later, too. But if we're quick enough, we'll do some brazing, too. And that's pretty cool.
Eric, can they see this?
Yeah.
It's another custom fork.
A lot of stainless on that. Stainless is the shit. Ooh. Whenever I see something pretty, I think of the crow, and she goes, I like the pretty lights. And I do. I love flashing stuff.
Oh god, does that mean Eric could be one of those guys with RGB everywhere in his computer?
Oh, Jesus.
What's that? Say again?
RGB lighting on a bike? You going to do that?
We're making currently right now, for the next bike show, we are doing a Star Wars themed bike. And that's all I'm going to say. And trust me, you'll never see this shit coming. And I spent a lot of fucking money and even more time on it. So if Disney wants to sue me, go ahead. I'll give them the keys and be like, good luck, fuckers.
Here's another bike rack Eric made.
All right, almost done. Oh, I'm so tired and thirsty. Whatever could quench my thirst. Tastes great, less filling. Anyways, so so check this out. Still a little warm. It's not my best work. It's not my worst work. You know, I'm under the gun. I feel weird. I feel like I got to pee real quick for the doctor.
But there's one when it's finished, what it looks like over there.
Oh, are we calling it done?
Are we?
You said you wanted to save this for last. Don't look, people, at the internet. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to drill some holes here, and we're going to put in some water bottle bosses, and that is to hold big jugs of water when you're on your adventures. So I've already dimpled these, and I know where they're going to go. So now we're just going to drill them, and we're going to cheat, but it's going to be the best cheat ever.
Water bottles on the front, like a rack?
Yep. People now put water bottle cages on on here. So, because a lot of people are using fat bikes as adventure bikes, touring bikes even, and they just what's great about fat bikes is that they brought back in the sense of adventure, end up traveling, end up going. And now people will use these mounts not just for water bottles, but they'll put like their little soft tents or their hammocks or other weird shit that they do.
Old style.
You know, it is. It's seriously, it really is, and it's cool because fat bikes, whether you like them or not, have opened up so much more to cycling and more tech, and it made people feel like a fucking kid again. You know, because mountain bikes made people feel like a kid, and everybody started racing and. You know, I gotta go pee before I race, so I'm lighter and shit. You sucked all the fucking fun out of it, man. You know, you can go race and be serious, but fat bikes bring that fucking smile back to your face, and you're like, I can ride anywhere. I can do this.
It's more of a cruising bike.
And it's like it's bringing a lot of older riders back in too, who can't ride a fucking 23 centimeter tire, and they get on one of these, and they're like, I can ride again. This is great.
Plus, in the wintertime.
And if you want to talk about people being shitheads, just Google electric bike on trails, and holy shit, every asshole and every smarter than you will come out and let you know that you are wrong. So now we're drilling holes because we're so right. Look at that. Oh yeah. So I drill a guide hole. Get in there. Oh, I missed that one. So now you got your guide holes. Check this out. This is how you are easier on equipment. Then you take your 1/4 inch hole maker, and so now,
should we give him a plug?
Yeah, do you guys hear some crazy noise? Play the crazy noise. That's cue for you, Alex, to make noise.
This noise?
Do you hear that? That's Alex Hagar Legros from Prairie Crow Cycle Works. You're gonna be on there. You're gonna be on the internet.
Oh no.
Do you want to be on the internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm ready to be on the internet. Hello, internet.
Hey, everybody. We're doing a live stream. So you are Prairie Crow Bike Works. Cool. He's got like a real old shop going. Mosquito would dig this. Mosquito's a crafter. He's watching with us.
Hello, Mosquito.
Hello.
So are you making forks as well, or?
Yeah, I mean, actually, the thing that I just walked in to do was sharpen a hatchet for home, but this is the project after that. To be totally honest.
Oh, that's pretty elaborate. That's pretty.
A replacement fork for an old steel lugged bike that someone loves and needs a new fork for.
Cool. How do you like working with Erik at Peacock Groove in his workshop?
Oh, it's so good. It's so great. Erik is the best. It's just... No, Erik is great. Yeah. Erik's an excellent shop mate. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Here you go. Thanks for saying that. I'm just kidding. Give me it back. It was a shitty plug.
I'll do better next time. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling my dad.
So here's a couple of your frames in progress up there. Is there any of your other bikes over here? Or
that is all that's here right now.
What about the one there?
Oh, no, that's not true. Yeah.
I got two over here.
Oh.
Yeah, Bill.
I love your logo. That's cool. Prairie Crow Bike Works. Give them a like. Do you have a fan page on Facebook?
I do have a page on Facebook, and there is a frame here that I forgot was hanging here.
Oh, what's your website?
PrairieCrowBikeWorks.com.
Cool. All right. Oh, what is? Oh, okay. Speaking of front racks.
Oh yeah. This is just my daily hauler. It's kind of beat, but I use that all the time. And it's really light, chromoly, thin wall tubing, but it's burly.
Check out this. It's a vintage bell on here. That's pretty cool.
Ding it. You got to ding it.
Oh,
Deaf now, Bill. Good resonance.
Oh, there's your. Here's one of your finished frames right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see why you guys get along. Very detailed.
We get along.
Aw.
Stab you. Oops.
I suppose I have a record of that. When I'm gone, well, they'll know what happened.
He left a note.
Yeah.
If I ever die, check Eric's sniper.
Eric, you're gonna look where Eric's been. Yeah.
Thank you for letting us check out your shop.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Where's Eric been? Not at lunch. Still warm. Can you feel the warmth? Okay, no, for real. This is serious shit now, though. So we have these little water bottle bosses. These are little, and they fall out of your hand all the time, and there are threads in there. So where did it go?
I think it went over there.
I was gonna say, see, you want realism? This is what happens. So, anyways, spent the next hour looking for a bike part. So check it out. So we got our holes. I quick did some sandpaper here to scar and clean the metal, and these go in here, and wherever that one on the floor is, we're gonna go in there. But how much time do we have? Can we go over?
There it is.
Are we good?
Yeah, we got about another 10 minutes. Let's go with that.
Cool. So what we're gonna do is now this is cool enough to touch. Like Bill, you can put your hand here. It's warm, but it gets to a shit. Are you okay, Bill? I can reheat it so you can get hurt. Like if you look at my pinky, it's all starred. That's because when I weld, I'm a pinky rester, and I'm like, no, almost there. And like the last time I welded, I got one of the worst blisters ever, and I was like, I've done this for 22 years, like idiot. So, anyways, speaking of idiots, so we have this nice. It's still pretty warm down here, but we're gonna put these over here, and now we're gonna see like this is really warm, and that's because we just welded these. So I'm gonna grab a glove, just because I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. We have all these little fixtures from Anvil Bike Works that help us make these bikes fast and rapid. So like I can tell. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear that? It snapped just a little bit, but that's okay because now I know that this is, yeah, it's acceptable. But yeah, it pulled in like they always do. But here is the cool thing. So we got our Anvil front shui baby. Get it? It's like feng shui, but it's front. And this is what's going to hold our disc caliper mount on while we weld it. So we just put this back in. And of course it's difficult because we're live. And this is still really fucking hot. Way to go, Bill! I have to do everything from the left side because I'm so right-handed. There we go. So this...
Oh, it's like a jig.
Yeah, it's like when I said that like 3 times earlier. Bill's second sentence on here, now he wants to kill me. Don't fucking correct me. So here's our little jig. And basically, now this is holding it no matter where I turn it. This is where these 2 holes need to be to mount your disc brake caliper. So here's what's cool. We have this low mount from Paragon Machine Works. Paragon Machine Works made the steer too. So we put this on here like this. And we basically have to make this fit here. But if you look, oh, womp womp. This goes over. I don't like that, so I'm actually going to bend this in a minute to get it more go up the middle of this blade. All the energy of your disc brake, this is the reason why this is so long, is so it can go up and travel through it. The more weldment and material you have on it, the better it can displace it. But the problem is, when you look at this hole lines up, this one doesn't. So we got to just nip a little bit off of here, and then we can get it ready and weld it. So this will go pretty quick. Oh yeah, look at that. So I got a little little bit of flash and weird shit, so I run over here. So we nip that in the bud. Then we make Bill keep switch directions all the time. So basically, this is such a great tool. It makes my life 10% easier. So I go like that. I go like that, and I can tell that, you know what? We're still a little off on this. And we're hitting right down there. So now I'm just going to undo this. Every once in a while you'll do this and like you'll mark it with a Sharpie and you go, you cut it and you come back and you're like, well, that'll be for another fork because you just totally miscut it and you don't know why.
Been there. It's actually exactly how that ceiling panel ended up over there instead of here.
What's that? Ceiling? Oh, I heard you say ceiling.
Oh, yeah, that's how that ceiling panel over there ended up on that side instead of over here. I marked it and then cut it out, and I went, well, what the hell happened there? And then it fit over there better, so that's where it stopped.
There's a small bucket or two around here of pieces that, you know, didn't work for that, but I never throw them away because, honestly, it's too expensive, you know? I mean, like, these little buggers, these are $10, $8, pardon me. This steer tube is $50. It's a very special steer tube, but it does the best that I want. So, like, I include that. So now here's what's cool about this. This big gap, that can't be. So you tighten these down, and you play the old pop it up real quick. You go over here, and the reason why I'm doing this like this, these two bolts will keep this in place, but it's fairly malleable. I can bend it, and I also want to tweak it to the side a little bit. It made that sound, Bill. So now you can see that it goes off to the left or to the right. Which ways does your go, Bill? To the left or to the right? Gross. So anyways, we come back here. God, I almost impaled myself. Take me to the ER, Bill. So now you look at that. We're pretty close. We're closer. But now we have a gap here, here, and here. If you're strong enough. Which I'm not. So we just do it what we just did. But again. And if you notice, like, all my tools are kind of around where they should be. They're very walkable. I know there's going to be some people on here who will be like, that shop's poorly set up or whatever. Well, good for you.
Hey, man, this is your exercise.
Yeah,
Never mind the bike.
I remember I used to be at this place where it was 7 floors up. And basically, the elevator would go out, and I'd be like, dude, fix the fucking elevator. And people are like, but you like exercise. I'm like, no, I like riding my bicycle. Like, yeah, that's exercise. And I go, that's a coincidence, man. But I'm telling you, fuck that. I'm not walking up 7 flights of stairs every day I go to the shop. Not happening.
Completely unintentional exercise.
That's pretty crazy, man.
Dude, I've had to move toolboxes, a couple machines, up these. It was the worst. All right, now we're close to getting it to work. But after we get this welded on, we'll show you brazing, which is completely different than welding. And then that will kind of, you know, round out the episode. Looks good to me. So what I'm going to do, because I am you know, a little film of stuff. Sorry, there's a weirdo outside, so I got to keep track of him. Well, welcome to a day in the life of, you know what I mean? Like, why'd that suck? Because there's weirdos outside, and we left the door open, and they come in and like, hey, Sunday, are you working? No. It's fucking Peacock Group Super Happy Fitness time. Come on in. Take turns running around the shop. So basically, Shazam, this is in the place that it needs to be. So I'm gonna tack weld it. I'm gonna fucking weld it. So hold on. You know? What do you need to know, bro?
No, I'm your welder.
Did you like that? That was Star Wars. Oh, what's going to happen in The Last Jedi? Blew up the Death Star a couple times. My dad died in my arms, and he's kind of a dick. He cut my hand off. So I had a daughter, and I left her somewhere. Yeah, who's Ray? Who's Ray's parents? Captain Kirk. I can just hear, like, every Star Trek person go, no! They're crying out collectively right now. Completely different. Star Trek is cerebral. Okay, speaking of cerebral, here we go. So with welding, when you tack weld something, you're kind of just giving it a little mini weld to keep it in position. I rotate my stuff a lot when I do it, so if it's a pull back kind of deal. It's, you know, the yin and the yang and the force, if you're into that kind of deal. And I'm not happy with that fit, so we're going to cheat a little bit. Because what it did is it moved it up a little bit. There we go. So now, it's kind of a bummer because you have to take on and off your gloves a lot. And that's just how the welding world works. Okay, so a stitch in 9 saves time. So now when I weld some of these, I vary, but I'm going to start here because it's thinner and it's going to get hotter as we go. So basically, I'm going to just totally take the whole shot. Sorry. Whoops. Falling apart, Bill. Whew. Pretty decent weld. Pinky Rester. Well, that'd be a great name for a band. We're the Pinky Resters. Give me my Morty face. Oh, jeez, Bill. All right. So more welding. Oh yeah. Now we do this big long bead. So big, it's so long. God, kidding. Is this just exciting as shit or what? Wow. Shut up over there. Serious business.
My favorite bike's got to be the lunchbox.
Lunchbox.
You were in my one of my blogs or my vlogs when you first finished it, and it was in the wintertime?
Yep.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. Yeah, that's my favorite bike, that metal flake green. Very Big Daddy Ed Roth like. Yeah.
So you can get close now, just don't touch.
Look at those.
And now I think what we'll do is I'll show you how we braze in the water bottle boxes, and that's pretty much the gist of it. That's making a fork. But now, as one learns through trials and tribulations, these are hot. So you have things around to,
Oh yeah.
you know, after a while, like, 15 years, if you still do this, no. I learned after like 5. But yeah, I mean, I've seen people get burnt horribly. I've burnt myself horribly. And man, I've dropped, talk about gross. I've dropped, if you look at this. So this is TIG, tungsten inert gas, which means this is your tungsten. This is where the electric arc, the flame comes from. I've literally by accident dropped it on my leg once when I had shorts on, and it plunged in, and there was like this icky yellow substance, and I was told by the doctor that was partly my skin and partly fat liquefied. And I was like, that's great, you know?
Man,
Never thought I'd see liquid fucking fat come out of me, but I did.
Welding in shorts too.
Jeez, Dad. Sucked the fun out of everything. I was trying to get a tan, and it just didn't go my way. So this is still a little warm up there. So now that's all there. But check it out, man. This is kind of what I live for, this beautiful blue color, man. I mean, like these deep purples and shit around here. Mm-hmm. That's gorgeous. And what's cool is that you can see this is where your heat was concentrated. You can see it. And it's really cool to see how the heat will play around like holes and different things like that because that's how the heat moves. Heat's very it's a very cool thing. Like, I don't know. It's just cool. I ran out. I'm off script, man. I don't know. But now we got these little dingleberries. and we need to put them in here. So basically, we're going to braze, and this is what you do with the actual oxyacetylene torch and flame. This is what people like, ooh, fire, because I don't know, people relate to fire. I don't know. Whatever. But now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to hit our fan switch, and since it's really high and I'm short, see how this works? You hear it? Show them where the fan is, Bill.
Keep all your girlfriends in here too, I see.
Yeah, they can't get away. It's kind of a big joke. They're all from Maxim magazine. I wanted to like the stupidest stuff possible, and I did a good job. But respect to Brittany Murphy for passing. Damn. With my thirst quenched so well, I'm ready to work more. Anyway, when you braze, you have to use flux. What is flux, Bill asked? Well, if you wait, I will tell you. So check this out. You go to Axeman and you get your acid brush, which is funny because you're using an acid brush for flux. What this does is it keeps oxygen out of the metal and stuff like that, and it keeps the metal from burning. And what we do is we melt this silver alloy, 56% silver, because I don't cheap out like those bastards who use 45%. The real deal, man. This is expensive. This thing right here, this is $38. I have a PayPal account that you can just contribute to. Le hint, as the French would say. So you melt this shit in there, and Bill will be able to get pretty close with the camera, and you can see, like, it'll wick in. It's really cool shit. So in this instance, we're not melting the metals together. We're melting another metal in between it. Think of it as, like, really fucking hot glue. So, like, oh, man. And now, since this fork leg is still nice and warm, this will be nice and runny. But so you get this, and this also helps the silver flow around, and you can sit and talk smart about it and all that shit all day, but you know what? This just works. And it's water soluble and not too toxic. I still got all my fingers and appendages, but this is going to go really fast. You'll like this. Oh, God. We're on fire. See, I moved something, so I have to move two other things to get it around it. And I'm going to show you exactly how not to light it, but I live on the edge. So I say strong, you know. You got your acetylene. And you like, so this is your acetylene. This is the flammable, and then you add oxygen. And that's what makes it, like, if you look, see how there's all this soot? And I'm polluting there. I'm rolling coal. Dumbass. But this is burning, but this is like a dirty burn. You add oxygen, and it goes away. And that's what makes it burns pretty clean. You know, look at, you can smell it. No fumes, Mom. Or you could do this. You ready? Magic. All right, Bill, stand right over here. So check this out. This shit is cool. So you go around, and I call it feathering. You always feather out so you don't burn yourself, because burns hurt. So when all this flux starts to move away, see how it's starting to move away? That's when you know that you're almost at the temperature that you need to be. See how it's, oh yeah, we're ready there. So I move this silver in. See how the silver just goes in there? See it go in there? And now look at that. It's in there. Sorry you can't really see it, but like you go like that, and then the silver will just disappear in there. Look at that shit. Betty fucking Crocker right there. So then you do it again, but you don't want to get that little blue triangle in there. That's really hot and bright. And this is like more of a real gentle. This is like the gentle leader versus a normal leash, you know? So look at that. So now we're at the temperature that we need to be at. and watch that. See how it just falls in there? Look at that. That one even got a little bit too much, but it's nice. It's solid. It's beautiful. We won't have to do any cleanup on it. And look at this. Oh, the excitement. So now, see how we're ready? I mean, that water bottle even got a tinge of color. Look at that. See how it's going in there? Look at that. And then I go around real quick to make sure that it's getting penetrated on the inside. And that means like just penetrated with that. Don't fucking clean it up, man. Clean it up. This is a technical term. And then like what I always do to scare people, because like people are like, oh yeah, I've been on torches my whole life. And then you do that. I'm gonna jump too. Because if you take away the actual thing that's like, flammable, the oxygen pops itself out. And you're really not supposed to do that, but,
It's fun.
live on the edge, bro. Blow up the world. But basically,
Whoa.
basically you eat shit and then you pick it up. But basically, so I don't have to yell, all the nasty fumes are gone. Oh, jeez. I'm blowing up. But basically, we would just do that to the other side of the fork. And, like, here's something cool. Let's see if you can hear it. When the flux dries, it cracks when it cools down. So if you listen. Be very, very quiet. I'm blowing flux. You hear it basically there? That's the flux shrinking and cracking. It's cool shit. But this, it's cool, man. Don't laugh. That's in front of my art. But this is basically, done bike. We'd put one here, and then another side of these. But that's basically your fat bike fork. Yay. And then you take it out of the oven. And as the French say, here you go.
Ooh.
So if you look, this perk is pretty cool. And we have extra little doodads on here, but like you can see, these are all coated. This is a really sweet, nice, fine metallic purple. I love purple. But boom, look at all that. And then you take this and you put it on here. You go ride your stupid bike and have a fun time. I say stupid because I don't get to ride as much as I want, so sad. So, hey, that was me, Eric, and Bill, or as they would say in Kill Bill, Bill. And you were at Peacock Groove with me, Eric, and we made a cake fat bike fork. So check it out. Cake Industries, cake.bike, cakebike.bike. I don't know, peacockgroove.bike. I don't know. I don't do the web stuff. But check it out. Google search. Follow us on Instagram at Peacock Groove. And thanks for tuning in. And see ya. Cut it now, Bill. We're done.
All right, folks. So I'm going to do the official closeout here. You've just watched a hell of a show. So tune in next week when we've got another exciting adventure where you never know where we're going to end up. Find something that you don't like anymore, mod it, and then come on over to the forums and show us. On that note, you guys have a good one. Later.